Good evening, peeps. Good evening. All right. I only filmed yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. So I don't know how much new stuff there is to talk about, but we'll see what we can do. All right, remember, hit that subscribe button, please, people. Hit that subscribe button. We are close to 25,000. Don't forget to like and share the vids as well. Thank you so much to everyone that's doing it. All right, what's this one? Canelo Yildirim card offered on pay-per-view for $49.99 as well as the zone. It's interesting. Why would anyone want to watch it on pay-per-view for $50 when you can watch it on the zone for, what's it on the zone? $20 a month or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. That's strange. I don't understand that. Are people that anti the zone that they'd still rather pay $49.99? I find this confusing. And it's not like you sign up to the zone for $19.99 and you're stuck in a 12-month contract. I think it's something like $19.99 for a 1-month contract, and that's it. I think it's a lot cheaper if you sign up for a 12-month contract, something like $8 or something. So I find that pretty strange that anyone would want to pay $49.99. But hey, I mean, they're just making sure they've got every box covered, I guess. But yeah, very strange. What I did see about Canelo, and I read this today, that Canelo wants to have 4 fights this year. I think we've spoken about this before. So he wants to do Yildirim, obviously, then Billy Joe Saunders in May. Then he wants to fight again in September, and then he wants to fight again in December. That's what he wants to do. So bear in mind, he fought Callum Smith in December. So if you're talking December to December, that's 5 fights. He wants to have 5 fights. That's crazy. 3 of those fights will be against top opposition. Yildirim, I'm guessing we're not classing him as top opposition. So Callum Smith top, Billy Joe Saunders top, and I'm guessing the one in September, which I pray to God is Khalid Plant. Don't think it will be, but again, that will be a top opposition, and then he'll fight someone Rocky Fielding-esque, Yildirim-esque, sorry, to dig out Rocky Fielding there, in December. Perfect. Absolute. I have no problem with that at all. None whatsoever. I mean, 5 fights in 12 months is incredible. We just don't see that anymore at all. I mean, I'm trying to think of anyone that's even done anything remotely like that in the last 4 or 5 years. Anyone of note. I mean, there are going to be some people, like some people might scream out, oh, Daniel Dubois. I'm talking fighting decent opposition. No disrespect to who Daniel Dubois fought, but I mean, we're not going to talk about Tete, Latte, and Fujimoto alongside the names of Callum Smith, Yildirim, Billy Joe, and whoever else he's going to fight. Even Tyson Fury, when he came back, I think he fought like 5 times in 18 months. So he obviously done Sefer Safiri, but look at the opposition here. Sefer Safiri, Pianeta, close back to back. Then he done Wilder. Then obviously he done Tom Schwartz, Otto Volin. But that was like in a year and a half. And I mean, Sefer Safiri, Pianeta. So yeah, what Canelo's doing is incredible. And I hope this just spurs other fighters on to do it. Because Canelo seems to have a lot of respect, especially from the young fighters coming up. And if they're seeing that the richest boxer on the planet, the pound for pound #1, is willing to fight 5 times in 12 months, hopefully they'll get out of the rut they're stuck in, which is 1 fight every 6 months. You know, not many top fighters are fighting 3 times a year. Not many top fighters are fighting twice a year, let alone 3. So Canelo doing 5 is just incredible. Shivas Regal, people. People must think I'm an alcoholic because I always seem to be having, well, especially when I'm filming late, there's always something there, isn't there? But look, it's not much, is it? Eddie Hearn, Deontay Wilder has completely lost his mind. I mean, look, he has said some silly things of recent, I think. Wait, look, to be fair, he said some silly things as soon as he lost to Fury. He was just talking outlandish for me. I mean, it was every accusation thrown at him, or thrown at Fury, sorry. And obviously this thing now with his former trainer. I don't know, I just wonder who's in his ear. I wonder who's in his ear. He goes on these silly YouTube channels with his fanboy fans, and they just seem to stroke his ego rather than tell him you're chatting absolute shit. But I don't know, man. We'll see. Look, there's loads of fights for him out there. Let him just get back in the ring, and then we'll see how he deals with that. I do like Deontay Wilder. I just don't like the way in which he's handled that defeat. I think it's a reflection on you, how you handle your wins and your losses. Handle your loss like a king, as he calls himself. Hand it like a proper man. And I think he's handled these losses. That loss, awful. Like, just, I've been watching the sport for a number of years. I get paid to kind of do stuff within the sport. I've never seen someone have so many excuses, ever. Never seen it in my life. Poor. Josh Warrington. Gary Russell thinks he's Mayweather trying to get a payday. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we all heard that Gary Russell openly admitted that he turned down $1 million. Well, we didn't really turn it down. There was no contract, but Eddie Hearn reached out to him and offered him $1 million to fight Josh Warrington. He said that's beneath him. Obviously, wants a bit more money. Who are we to say, what he should and shouldn't take? I always say, know your worth, get your worth. If he thinks he's worth more than $1 million, then get it. I don't see what he's done to warrant that. I don't know if he's a draw in his hometown. He definitely isn't a pay-per-view guy. So I don't know what he's done to think that he's worth more than $1 million. But look, if he thinks that's out there and he's been told you've got more than $1 million out there, then go and get it. I just don't see it personally. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez is a liar. His lies don't add up. Oh, I'm kind of bored of this thing by now. It's actually getting quite boring, isn't it? It's actually getting boring. There's no talk about any of these guys fighting. There's no we offered this person a contract. There's nothing. Right now, we're all excited about these 4 kids, and none of these 4 kids are going to get it on with each other. As far as Devin Haney's concerned, though, I mean, Teofimo Lopez is the one right now sitting on the throne. Teofimo Lopez can't do no wrong. He can't. I mean, this guy, of recent has fought Richard Comey, who was the IBF champion, stopped him and beat Loma. So I think Devin Haney needs to pipe down and get on with his work and get a name on that resume. That's what I think. People might say, no, that's what I think. It's only my opinion. Andrade-Williams, I saw this, terms reached for the WBO middleweight title fight. So it avoided a purse bid. The fight will go down in America on the Zone, I think in April. I want to quickly check something because I've seen a lot of people say things like Liam Williams is going to be Andrade's toughest test to date. I just want to quickly double check Andrade's most recent fights. Luke Keeler, yeah, that was poor. Selecki's no slouch, Selecki's no slouch. Akavov, yeah. Katundokwa. Funny thing, I actually was in, I was in Zimbabwe commentating on Katundokwa's fight in 2019. After the loss to Demetrius Andrade, his next fight was in Zimbabwe against a guy that was 9-2. And I was ringside commentating on that fight, no bullshit, in Zimbabwe. I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing here fighting in front of 50 people? And okay, that's exaggeration. Like 200. So it wasn't exaggeration, it was under exaggeration, whatever that word is. So yeah, Katundokwa, Andrade fought, Alantes Fox, who was unbeaten at the time. I know that Liam Williams has fought him and beat him, but he was unbeaten at the time. Jack Colcay is no scrub. But yeah, you know what? He has fought some awful fighters, to be fair. For a 2-weight world champion, I mean, he has got nothing on this resume. So maybe Liam Williams is his toughest test. I do think Andrade's got a bit too much about him, though. I do think he'll beat Liam Williams, but good fight nonetheless. And it's one that Liam Williams has been screaming for a while. So well done for everyone to get that sorted. What we got here? Joseph Diaz. I'll fight Tevin Farmer again. Numbers just have to make sense. I think we've all forgot about that win for some reason. And it's weird how we've all forgot about Tevin Farmer. I say we all have. I mean, let me not put words into people's mouths here. I have a little bit. I remember when there was a time about a year ago where it was just Gervonta Davis, Tevin Farmer, Gervonta Davis, Tevin Farmer. That fight had to happen. Now it's just like never going to happen. It's so far away. Can't even think about it. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. It was a good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I don't know. I mean, Joseph Diaz says here the numbers have to make sense. They're not going to make sense now. There was a lot of hype about Tevin Farmer. That's gone. So I don't think there is that interest to kind of pay you or Tevin Farmer what you probably both want to get on. Maybe just go separate ways and build it up somewhere else. Frank Warren, I think Daniel Dubois gets back in the mix rather quick. Obviously, it's been reported now that he has officially linked up with Mark Tibbs and I think Jimmy Tibbs as well. Is it Jimmy Tibbs? That's going to bug me, that. It's Jimmy Tibbs, isn't it? Yeah, wait. Yeah, okay, yeah, so he's linked up with the Tibbs. So let's see. The problem is, yeah, when Warren says he'll get back in the mix rather quickly, let me translate that for you in my terms. That means I'm going to put him in with 5 fighters that he's going to knock out and everyone's going to get excited again. He's got to manage this properly. He's got to find the right fighters and build him up steady. He really has to. So yeah, obviously you go low again. I think everyone's going to accept him fighting 2 gimmies, but then you've just got to look what's out there and fights that he can learn from. He learned nothing from, like Fujimoto's shocking that is, for him to be fighting a guy of that caliber. So you've got to give him fights where he learns something from it. Like the Joyce, he's going to learn a lot about that. Even though it was a defeat, he should learn a lot about that fight. And then we'll see. But for me, 2021's a give back year, kind of just wipe the slate clean, start again. And then 2022, mid-2022, we can start seeing him in some good fights, I hope. We'll see. Otto Volin, once I see the opportunity, I'll be ready to take Brazil out. I forgot this fight was happening. Completely forgot about this. February the 20th or something, isn't it? That's a good fight. That is a really entertaining fight. And it doesn't have to be 2 elite level fighters for it to be entertaining. These 2 guys will meet in the ring and have a go. They'll have a go. Dominic Brazil obviously needs to do something if he wants to try and get back into that mix where his name's mentioned fighting, not the top guys. He's never going to fight Fury or AJ or anything like that. But he's already fought AJ, but not again. But to get in that way, he's fighting the guys just below that. You know, he might want to get a Hrgovic. He might, if Povetkin beats White again, or whoever wins that fight, he could maybe potentially put his name forward as the, fighting the winner. Who knows? That's how crazy boxing is. So yeah, it's a good fight, man. I like this one a lot. I think it's going to be a slugfest. I will favour Otto Volin, but who knows, man? Who knows? I remember in that fight against Wilder, I'm pretty sure, I'm going to have to watch it again, I'm pretty sure Brazil hurt Wilder. I'm pretty sure he did. Obviously, Wilder, we know, got the job done, but I'm pretty sure he kind of staggered Wilder's legs again. So he's got the punch power. I just have to remember it. I'm going to watch it again. But I still, after all that being said, I still would favour Otto Volin. I think he's just a fresher now. 2 seconds. A bit here, Eddie Hearn saying that Yildirim fight keeps Canelo active before Saunders showdown. Are we just completely overlooking Yildirim? I mean, look, you expect Canelo to win. I mean, it would be a colossal upset, but there's so much talk about 4 fights this year, and Canelo fighting Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, he has got to fight. He has got to fight. I remember when Canelo was supposed to fight Victor Ortiz. Don't know if you guys remember this. Victor Ortiz had to fight against Josecito Lopez. Canelo's ringside. Canelo's literally going to fight Victor Ortiz. It's a done deal. And Josecito Lopez breaks Victor Ortiz's jaw, fights off. Nothing's a given, but obviously this one should be a given. Oscar Rivas will stay busy until world title opportunity comes around. You're not getting a world title opportunity anytime soon, so don't stay busy. Bloody have a real fight. I mean, it's Oscar Rivas fought since Dillian White. Let's have a quick look. No, he hasn't. He hasn't fought Dillian White. He hasn't fought since he fought Dillian White. He's actually got a fight. There's no date here, but he's fighting a guy called Silveira Luis, who is 8-5. Was he injured? Well, let me not speak too soon. Was he injured? How can he have not fought since fighting Dillian White? We think about it, Dillian White has fought Maris Vac since then. And Dylan White would have had a fight way before that, but obviously he had the issue with the B sample. He fought Maris Vax since then. He's fought Povetkin since then. He was supposed to fight Povetkin again. It's crazy. And by the time, by the time Oscar Rivas fights, he would have fought Povetkin again. That's what I'm talking about. Just like, what are you doing? You're coming off a good performance against Dylan White. Get back in there. Get back in there. Shocking. That is shocking. What else we got here? 14-day weights have come in for the fight between Miguel Bichel and Oscar Valdez. Remember, this fight's at 130 pounds. Miguel Bichel weighed 136. Oscar Valdez 136.4. What do these fucking guys walk around at? Like, what do they? No training camp, at home chilling. 160, 170. Like, what are these guys walking around at? Jeez. I mean, 14 days. So they would have been in camp going full on. And they're 136 pounds. So I'm guessing, look, they obviously do tick over, but just literally them at their heaviest, they must be around 170, maybe even more. Maybe even more. Like Gervonta Davis is more. Let's be fair. Bit here about Daniel Dubois with Mark and Jimmy Tibbs, as I said. Holyfield says Tyson trilogy could make $100 million. Deal is close. How can this fight make more than when they fought in their prime? Crazy. That's crazy. I don't know if it does. I was very interested in this Tyson thing because it was exciting about this Tyson comeback. It was really good. Don't know if I'm still interested in it. Not sure. Not sure. Pardon me. Not sure. Yeah. That's 100 million. That's crazy. There aren't. It's not even crazy. Is that Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson was the highest grossing fight of 2020. I mean, in America anyway, it done more than Wilder, Fury, anything. Basically done more than anything in America. Mike Tyson, Roy Jones. So maybe it will make 100 million, maybe. But I thought Jones was a good opponent as well. I'm not quite sure if Holyfield ticks that same box. Devin Haney. I'm getting ducked at 135 pounds. Fans know I'm the real WBC. Who? Let me finish it anyway. Fans know I'm the real WBC champion. Who are those people? I'm a fan. I certainly don't know you're the real WBC champion. I know that you're not, if I'm honest. Not to be harsh on the kid, but when you say things like fans know, maybe your circle are telling you this, but deep down, fans are thinking you got given a belt. I'm just putting it out there, Devin. If you somehow watch these videos, you might. Fans don't know that at all. Fans are waiting for you to prove yourself against a legit guy because everyone else in and around you has. I do find that funny why he thinks they're ducking him. Who's he referring to? Who's he referring to? Is he referring to Teofimo, who just fought Loma? Is he referring to Gervonta, who just had a good fight? I know at 130, but still fought a legit solid guy in Leo Santa Cruz. Is he referring to Ryan Garcia, who fought Luke Campbell? Who's he referring to that's ducking Devon? What else we got here? Frank Warren says Usyk fight puts Joyce in the right place at the right time for heavyweight championship. It certainly does. It certainly does. If Joyce fights Usyk and wins, he's definitely, you have to put him right up there with anyone else who should be talked about fighting the winner, fingers crossed it happens, of Fury Joshua. He is right up there. And by this talk, it kind of sounds like this fight might be close. That kind of talk there sounds like it might be very, very soon. Like, we've stopped hearing all the stuff about Usyk trying to get involved with the WBO and get in the way of AJ Fury, which means to me he's been paid off, right? So yeah, that's good. That's very, very good. I saw something just before we go about Manny Pacquiao. And him saying something along the lines of he's got a fight, he's going to announce it soon, and all that kind of stuff. Let's quickly go onto his Twitter page quick. Right, what's this? Yeah, so he said this on the 9th of February. Training camp has begun. I'm ready to get back in the ring and to further add to my legacy in the sport of boxing. Big news coming soon. What does that mean? There's a couple of interesting points there. Legacy. which for me, I mean, legacy, it has to be a legacy fight then, right? Ryan Garcia exhibition fight isn't a legacy fight. I mean, that doesn't add to your legacy, does it? I mean, Ryan Garcia, even non-exhibition, doesn't add to your legacy. So that's interesting. I would love Manny Pacquiao just to shock the hell out of us and him mention Crawford or Errol. He did mention Errol the other day. He said something about it, but I would love it to be now we're talking legacy. Now we're talking legacy. If he were to fight either one of those guys, then geez. But it doesn't make sense for him to fight either one of those guys after giving up his belt. Do you know what I mean? We didn't really give it up, you know what I mean? So that it's probably going to be Ryan Garcia, which doesn't add to your legacy. I would accept Mikey at 140. I'd accept that. Yeah, but there's not much else. Like, Ryan Garcia doesn't add to your legacy. So if he's referring to that, then yeah, that's slightly disappointing. Let me see if there's anything else in and around the boxing world before we park up and go to bed. I'm actually pretty tired. I had a day off. Guys, we are going to do a live. We're going to do a live either Saturday or Sunday, but 100% we're doing a live on the weekend. I'm just thinking what day. I was going to do a watch along for Josh Warrington, but I'm not going to do it anymore. So we might do a live just before the Warrington fight. Or we could just do a live straight after that if people are still around and awake. I'm not quite sure. But I will let you guys know tomorrow or Friday what day it is. We're definitely doing a live on the weekend though. 2 secs. All right, I think we are done. Yeah, I think we are done. All right, peace and love, peeps.